All right. We're going to call this meeting to order of the West Waukene Economic Development Corporation at 5:30. And present is myself, John Milburn, Red Byers, Larry Para, Kathy O'Neill, Cindy Phillips, Casey Laughlin, and missing is Mary Chumley. She is out this evening. So we definitely have a quorum here. Let's go ahead and stand for the invocation. Dear Heavenly Father, thank you for everything you've given us. Continue to bless and take care of our city. Help guide our votes and decisions tonight so we do what is best for the citizens here. Please look after our troops who are currently in combat and protect America in general from any kind of retaliatory strikes that may or may not occur. In Jesus' name we pray. Amen.
Amen.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. All right, so we have some announcements that were put on the agenda and then a few that were not on the agenda that we want to be sure and do. The first is Waukene Area Library and Texas Workforce Solutions has their job training program this month. It is going to be on March 24th. That's Tuesday in the evening from 6:30 to 7:30. And the library is returning to their regular hours next week, Wednesday through Friday from 11 a.m. to 5 p.m. The second is Dale's Burgers is our March business of the month. And I want everyone to know that when I went and took pictures and I spoke with the owner, they changed the name quite some time ago to just Dale's Burgers. So we should have that changed on our business directory now. And if you go on our Facebook, you'll see the posting that shows our celebration of them. The Chamber of Commerce luncheon that we host will be on April 16th from 11:30 to 1 p.m. at the Chamber building. The Chamber's Catfish Festival will be occurring on May 9th, as you know, in the City Park from 10 to 4. East Waukene EDC will be hosting what's called the 2026 Race Across the SSGT McNabb Memorial Bridge on May 9th. That's the 2-mile bridge. So they are doing their race on the same date that we have our Catfish Festival, and the hours work absolutely wonderfully. So their race, this is the 6th year for it. Their victory dash will start at 8 a.m. Then they'll have a fun run that starts at 8:30, and then a 5K run that starts at 9 a.m. The 5K run goes almost all the way across the bridge, and they'll be concluding their event just before, right around the same time that the Catfish Festival is occurring. So the EDC president, Regina Chandler, her husband is also Harold, he's the mayor of East Waukene. They're encouraging their runners, they're getting the word out to all of them. They have about 160 people who come and run to consider continuing all the way across the bridge into West Waukene and coming to our Catfish Festival. And we are starting to work together a little bit, so be prepared to, there'll be more announcements, and we'll make sure that we include East Waukene on some of what we're doing, particularly when the two cities can kind of partner some in that and get the word out to all of their citizens as a lakefront community. Do we have any other announcements?
We have the Easter picnic coming up. That's on April 4th.
April 4th.
Yeah.
And will that be in the park? Mm-hmm. Do you know the times?
It'll be at noon.
Starting at noon?
Yeah.
Yeah, knowing those kids will be over at 12:02.
Yeah. That's all it is. And we're going to put the makes together. Stuff out if anybody else. If they want to bring it, they can bring them to fire department, city hall, Lake Washington Chamber of Commerce for the EDC.
It's actually pretty fun to watch. About
It is.
what is like 400 kids sometimes. It's out there just running after them to see what they can grab.
And they're running around going,
And look for the colored ones.
bring
Where's
some
the gold ones?
cosmos.
When would y'all like those eggs donated by, do you think?
As soon as we can.
Okay,
We take Robin usually does it, but I'm not sure she's going to this year. But she's gonna help stuff them and everything. Usually take them, put them in a box so that we can take them to the park and then we separate.
okay.
What
So,
would be the latest date?
I'm sorry.
What would be the latest date that you would want to get
I say,
that? That's kind of a tough one,
I know.
because you're so used to getting stuff at the last minute anyway.
Yeah.
You almost got
I pick a date before the last
you
day.
almost got to bake that in. You know, we're
I
gonna get
say
all this.
the second, that's late.
I'm gonna say by March 24th.
I like that even better.
so it would be great for those watching on YouTube. It'd be great to get those donations by March 24th, April 2nd at the very latest, and they're going to make Kathy stuff them if you bring them that late.
Yeah.
And I'm also going to encourage the public not to bring the eggs to City Hall. There's renovations going on and building being done with adding new offices. So they are kind of up to their elbows. You can see with all the stuff that they've moved and with the dust and construction. So the other locations, the chamber or the fire department, and what was the other one?
PD.
And the police department, those would probably be a great place to leave the eggs and the donations.
Yeah, I dropped some off and I took them to the chamber. There's not all that much room to stay.
No, there's not. All right. So any other announcements?
But on the Catfish Festival, the tournament actually starts earlier that morning. That goes with the Catfish Festival. The time I saw, I think, was 7 a.m. Don't get into that, but the
Tim sounded well.
the people fishing the tournament for registration, that kind of deal, will be there earlier.
Okay.
I don't have that exact time.
This when they do the noodling.
The noodling.
So,
I don't know the noodling going on this year, but definitely bank fishing and boat fishing, and I think registration is around 7. Don't get into that.
Well, I can't remember.
It's definitely early.
It seems like there's a couple different ones, but I know one we had last year. I didn't believe how big it was. I mean, there's a lot of boats out there. Well, I can't remember which one that was or who set it up. But I remember one was big.
so to get the exact time, it would be good for the public to go to the chamber's website and look and see the postings that they have for that. So you know the exact time to register if you want to participate in the fishing.
We don't have anything on here about
Because you're not ready for that.
No.
When you get that, you'll let me know. I'll
Yeah.
put it on.
I did talk to somebody. When I get back.
And there are no citizens present, so none on citizens input. So let's move on to the consent agenda. Consent agenda involves approval of the EDC minutes for February 9th, 2026, approval of the bank statement, approval of bills paid and to be paid, and approval of the profit loss statement for February 2026. You'll have those in your packet. I reviewed the meeting minutes and they all seemed good to me. Everything kind of matched the handwritten minutes that I had. This time on the bank statement, we had a total of $6,156 that was deposited this month, and $1,400 was spent. So we're definitely working and doing a good job managing the money. And the profit loss statement, as you know, is what it is. It stays the same. And without Mary here, there's really not anybody to ask questions to.
I was just asking, but the library, they do all this stuff for free.
What stuff? You mean the workforce?
Yeah.
We'll get to that at the very end today, or what's going to be on next month's agenda. Okay.
I won't ask either. That might. I'll talk to you after.
All right, so the chair would entertain a motion to approve the consent agenda items A through D.
I make a motion that we approve A through D.
I second. I've got a motion and a second. All in favor? Unanimous.
Who seconded that?
I did. All right, and now we'll move on to item number 7, discuss and/or take action on a park grant application. So in your agenda packet today, you have a very wonderful park grant application that is very detailed. And so here to discuss that with us and present the information to us is our esteemed councilman,
Great.
esteemed councilman, Mr. Greg Sprinkle.
So hopefully all of you have had a chance to look at the park grant packet, which required 10 copies. We hate trees, apparently. So I printed 10 copies for everybody. So the mayor's, everybody's seen it. So basically what I did, the mayor has given us all legacy projects. In other words, we could pick things that we wanted to accomplish as council people. And so one of my first ones, and one of the ones that I've been working on since I became a councilman, is the park. I think it's our biggest asset. I think it's our best opportunity to grow the city and to actually bring people here. So doing research, doing lots of ways to look at things we could do both immediately and long term. We found that there was some money that was brought into the city through the hotel occupancy tax. So we've gotten really, really involved in being sure that we collect that, find ways to make sure that the money is actually going to West Waukene. If the Airbnb, VRBO, whatever says Quinlan, then they likely get our hotel occupancy tax. I've actually requested from the open records all of the payments made by anybody in zip code 75474. So hopefully we'll see an influx of even more money. Anyway, there was money in there. So in the budget in August and September, we put into the budget an amount of money to do repairs and maintenance on the parks, and then also to do some improvements. Talking to Donna about one of the things that the EDC wanted to work on was the part of one of the things that we saw. I basically put together a group of citizens who are very vocal, very involved, very excited. They're actually getting after it. It's awesome. I mean, within 5 minutes of announcing that was one of my legacy projects, I had people blowing my phone up, and we put together what we are calling a park fan club. We don't want it to be a committee that's run by the city. We don't want it to be a group that says they have to hold meetings and have minutes and all that. This is a bunch of people who want the park to do well. They're giving us ideas. I bring those ideas to council. We figure out ways to find the money for it, and then we implement those things. One of the things that we are already doing, if you look through the packet, the first 3 things we thought that were important were, number 1, cameras for security and safety, and to help us keep the vandalisms down. There's 9 cameras already installed. They're all over the park. We've had weird things already happen in the park, but they're slowing down. We will be adding signs that say you're under surveillance here shortly, because we need those just to let people know. But you're in a public park, you don't really have an expectation of privacy. So
Did you get that extended all the way to the point?
we did. So we don't have the Wi-Fi extended all the way out there, but we have SD card, 132 gig SD cards in all of them. So if we have an issue, we can go back and pull the SD card and be able to do it. They're all unreachable, untouchable. We have 2 different kinds. We have 5 what they call bullet style cameras, which are the ones that have the long nose, and they can zoom in, and they're pointed at a static location, so we catch any car coming in or out of either entrance, and we get their license number. Then we also have 4 of what they call 360 cameras, and those 360 cameras go in any direction, and if you walk by one, it follows you. So not only are we catching the big picture, we're also catching the small picture and then following what's going on. So that was job number 1, and that's done.
I'm assuming that's all only looked at as needed because of some particular thing you think happened at that time. There's no just regular monitoring.
Nobody's watching it just to watch it. So basically, yes. So no, but the police get a notification on their phones that says there's a car pulled in. You could go look if you know, like if it's 11 p.m. or 2 a.m. or something like that. Then you would probably go and look. But I will say this: Officer Paul Thompson, and Kevin Jennings from the city have both been really helpful and really involved in getting all of this going and being involved with the monitoring and all that kind of stuff. We've run. There was a guy in there with an axe and a baseball bat, and we got notified by a camera picture, a camera notification. Paul went and took care of that, so it's working. So cameras are in. Second thing we wanted to do was add pickleball court striping and add basketball court striping to the actual concrete surface. So we got bids on getting that done. And then the other thing was replace the basketball goals with actual real good basketball goals.
Going to extend it to make it's like a 3-court right now.
So we're going to make it 2 court. We're only going to make it 2. We're going to put 1 on each end.
So 1 full court.
1 full court. And it's really not even a full court because a real basketball court's 50 by 96. And the concrete pad we have is 50 by 50. So we're going to make a full court that's smaller.
So you're not going to extend the footprint.
No, we're not adding concrete. Unfortunately, we don't. But to be honest with you, long term would be to make that pickleball courts and then add a real basketball court that was actually the right size. That court, we're not certain. The striping that we're doing everything we should do it correct. We're using parking lot striping where we're pressure wash and acid washing it first. When I say acid wash, yes, it's environmentally safe.
I'm sure it's going to look great.
That was the first question I asked.
And to be honest with you, maybe it's because it's in the condition it is, but I've never seen more than a couple kids out there.
You know what's really interesting? So
I've never seen like a 3-on-3 pickup game.
And you're right. There's never more than 5 or 6 at a time, tops. But there's somebody there almost every day.
Yeah.
And it's different people because I stop and talk to them. So I've been doing that for
even kids on the skateboards.
6 or 8 weeks. For 6 or 8 months. I've stopped and said, "What would you guys like to see?" One of the other things they'd love to see is bleachers, something to sit on when they're, hanging out in the park. But let's start with basketball goals and a basketball court.
I can add a second need for the bleachers, and that was because of when I was looking at it, and I kind of figured the most effective and cheapest place to put a dog park would be just on the other side of the basketball court, because you already got 2 sides of fencing right on it.
That's possible. Dog park has been discussed, not on the immediate agenda, not on the immediate thing. I think I will give you my personal challenge with the dog park. The park is already a place where dogs and cats get abandoned. And I'm afraid if we gave them if we gave people a captive location to dump animals, it would be I'm worried about that. And I may have just a silly worry, but what I would really like to see is a better way to manage the animals to get dumped at the park, and a way for the dog park to be something that was incorporated into a larger portion of the park. Because long term, I believe that a walking trail, cleaning not cleaning out the trees, but cleaning all the brush from the point and clearing that up and putting in a true gravel or true rock surface that was serviceable, that you could have a walking trail all the way around it, and some sort of piers. I'm going to go to SRA and ask for their help on that part. But we have to show the SRA that we're doing something positive and we're willing to maintain it, or they're not going to be willing to invest in our park. And so the most visible thing you can see is the entrance, the basketball courts, playground, which is going to be a much more expensive undertaking.
Roofing.
getting there. I'm getting there. Don't bust my bubble. So, to make a long story short, we're going to do cameras, which we've already done, basketball goals, which have already been ordered, striping and cleaning of the basketball court and adding a pickleball court. No net yet. We haven't figured out how we're going to do a net because I want to do one that's permanent, but I don't want to do one that somebody has to be responsible for going in and out. A lot of people who play pickleball buy a portable net. It's $20. They carry it with them in the trunk of their car. So I've actually met people that's what they did. They went up and they used masking tape.
They had to.
Exactly. That's the only choice they had. So, and then after Donna and I talked, we talked about the pavilions, and I didn't realize how bad the roof was on the Veterans Memorial, but it's in horrible shape. And so Donna had gotten some prices from some contractors to do the Veterans Memorial replacement in one of the other pavilions. And we got contractors to come in and look, and we got a price from one of the local contractors to do metal roofing on all 4 of the pavilions for $100 more than what Donna had originally gotten the price for doing 2. So what I'm coming to you guys for is I have the money in the hotel occupancy tax and in the budget already to do the goals and the courts and the cameras. And I have a couple $1,000s to put towards the pavilion. What I've asked you folks for is, I think it's $6,250. Somebody tell me if that's what I actually asked for.
$63.50.
$63.50. I probably bumped it up by $100 just because I wanted more money. I'm asking you folks for $6,350 to apply towards the pavilions, and we're paying for 100% of the stuff we're doing in the park, and then we're going to pay for 25% of the pavilion piece. So I don't want to break it down like y'all pay for half and we pay for half. It's really, hey, we're throwing in all of this money. It's all for the park. It's all for the same thing. But I have enough money to be able to do the parts that we had already talked about. But I need your money to be able to do the pavilion roofs and redo them as well.
So Greg, I want to just thank you incredibly for doing this. One of the reasons why our board got together and said, we need to actually do a park grant. We need to actually make this a little bit more codified and structured is because the city has always worked at trying to maintain the park. The EDC has always historically put money toward the park and helped with that. But there's never been a procedure to make that work easy and well. It was always kind of a happenstance when something came up. And we realized that we needed to do something different. All of us had kind of heard about the pavilions. People had gone out and looked and said, hey, we need to get this done. And when we started taking that on and thinking about getting it done, we have a lot of respect for city council. And we stepped back and we were like, you know what, this is the city park and we want to give you guys an avenue to do this. So when I read this application, I'm impressed. I'm very pleased. This procedure, I think, works very well. $6,350 is within the budget that we have set aside for grants, so we don't have to do anything other than just approve it, right, if we approve it. It's less than the amount that's required to do a public hearing, so we don't have to have a public hearing or publish anything about this in the newspaper because it's below that amount, and that these grants were already approved by City Council when we did our budget for the fiscal year. And that was already published in the paper, so the citizens know that it's available for you guys to.
It's like I read the rules.
and I will tell you, I realize that making 10 copies of this is a pain, but thank you so much, because the other thing is we're trying to maintain very clear records for how this board of the EDC functions so that anybody can go to our records and pull it up and they know immediately when they read this, yes, this is what an EDC does. We fund the things that allow for tourism, and this is within what we're allowed to do as an EDC.
Well, thank you. I appreciate it. It was, it was work, but it wasn't, unbelievably lots of work. I will say this, had it not been for the fan club rounding up all of the different options for the different things, like, study and striping paint, study and cleaning it. We our original plan was we really wanted to paint the court blue and do white stripes, do the whole court blue, and then do white stripes or do green stripes, do something much prettier, but we learned in the process that there's probably not a vapor barrier under the concrete that's laying there. And if we had done that, it would not allow the moisture to soak up through the bottom and dissipate. So it would just bubble up the paint. So we went with if we just put down parking lot striping, the water, the vapor that comes up through the concrete can go to the left of the paint or to the right of the paint and still stay down much longer. We don't know how long it's going to last because the long-term plan is to do this today. And then in the future, with some of the other things that we're doing on council, because I know one of the things that you guys are concerned about, it's also one of the things that I'm very concerned about is how do we maintain this? So we build it, we put it in, we do it great, we do a great job, and then who looks after it? And because I don't think we've done a very good job of keeping up with the things, because had we known about the pavilion at an earlier time, it probably would have been easier to repair it at that time, maybe get another 5 years out of it or whatever after the storm. So, but in the plan is to take, if we can, the goal just spelled out for you is the goal is that if we can get the water meters replaced within the city, it saves us 160 man hours a month. That 160 man hours a month, we don't want to fire anybody. But we can create a park supervisor position. And I'm not talking about a park host. I don't want to confuse it with a park host. I don't want somebody that lives in there to open the gate, close the gate, and maybe monitor and look at stuff. I want somebody whose job it is to upkeep and maintain the park. That means check the toilets every week to make, every day to make sure that there's toilet paper. Check the paper towels. Empty the trash cans that have, the bathroom trash cans had a muffler and a steering wheel in them last week. A muffler. There's a dumpster 30 feet away. Put it in the dumpster, but it was put in the trash can at the bathroom. Go back to the point. Let us know if the bathrooms are have a problem, if they're not working, if there's a hole in the floor instead of a toilet.
And would there be a single point of contact? Because I know you're saying it's kind of a roughly. It's just more like a group. It's not an official formation for the city, right? People are just getting together, providing
my group
feedback. Yeah.
Yes, my group is not an official there's nothing official about us. It is me asking citizens for their input, and they're volunteering their input and their information and providing us back with all this information and a whole lot of open dialogue between lots of different people who say, boy, this would be cool. I would like this. What do y'all think of this? And basketball goals. I probably looked through 40 basketball goals to figure out which ones were the right ones for us. I probably looked at 300 different types of paint. My grandfather was vice president of Sherwin-Williams. I should have known. But I went to Sherwin-Williams and asked the question. And then I went to ChatGPT and asked the question. And then I went and Googled it. And then I asked the guy who does paint striping. He said, no, you want to use this. And so, but my bigger point is to have the things that we can do immediately, the things that we want to do long term, and the things that we want to do, and then the things that we want to do to maintain those things. And that park supervisor to me is a key role. And it's not funded. It's not there. I can't promise you it's going to happen. But I can tell you that people in the city are going to take notice of what we do. And they're going to take advantage of the fact that we're doing things in the park that they can recognize, they can see, and that they can be proud of. And that's really what's important. Because next I'm coming to you for tables and grills. And I've already been told by the fan club, by the time the Catfish Festival gets here, let's get the money and get it done.
So we'll probably be seeing you possibly next month.
Probably.
Greg, I want to also let you know that Kathy has volunteered. I don't know if because you won't get the official minutes on that until your next council meeting. But Kathy has volunteered to reach out, and she's in the process of reaching out and talking to the school board of Quinlan ISD. And she is going to gather information on whether or not there's some steps that can be taken for our city to ask for some of those school tax dollars. Since the Quinlan School Board used our tax dollars to fund repairs and expand that park next to DC Cannon, and that's a city park in Quinlan. That is
not a school park. That's a great idea. That's a genius move.
It's a
Please.
great question to ask. So when,
I wouldn't have known to ask, but that's a genius idea.
once,
Oh, they're trying to hide from it.
Sure they are.
once she starts to get the foundation of that and get the background of that, then that will probably be one of those things where we're doing the partnership between EDC and council. So we will probably have you paired up with Greg so that you can give him that information so those steps can move forward. Similar to, we have Casey partnering. Who are you partnering with in the council on the zip code?
Chad.
Jacoby.
Jacoby. So that's a good use too of the EDC with city council. So I want to
Sure.
let you know, once she gets some of the foundation of that started, then we'll be sending her to you.
Certainly. Kathy, love to hear it. I think it's a great idea. I would have never thought of that being that. Number one, I never would have thought that they would use our tax dollars for their city park that came from school taxes. But if in fact that is true, then we are owed a certain amount of,
Oh, they use it for she.
then we certainly have every opportunity to claw some of that back, to use a Donna Milburn phrase.
There you go.
Well, the one thing that gets me is when we did the market on the lake, we ended up finally making $4,000. I never saw that $4,000. We kept asking, where is it? He kept saying,
So that I can assure you that any money that, so my group, no, my group, I understand. My group is 100% on board with bringing Market on the Lake back. They've talked about it. They want to do it. They're ready to do it. They want to do it on the third Saturday of every month. They wanted to start it in March. I said, guys, look, we're not ready to start. Nobody's prepared for the amount of work it takes to put that together when we're still doing all of these other things. And I think that's the challenge, is that you can get the momentum and you can get the folks behind what you're doing, but it's really difficult to lay out the execution of that plan. And so we basically, with what we're doing at the park, we said we want this, 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 and this, and here's the plan it's going to take to make it happen, and here are the dates that we're going to meet every one of those. The hardest thing I have to do is explain to the fan club that we move at the speed of government, and I have to wait for, I'm going to the January 9th meeting with this budget request, and I'm going to the 13th meeting with this request, and I have to get this done, and then I can go get this done. And so just like having this done, I called Donna and said, okay, when do I need to have this? Because my target date for having all this done is April 1. That is 29 days from today.
what I was talking about, the alternative said, when we started the market, that he would create a line item, and all the money from Marshall on the Lake would go in that line item. We kept asking for the money, and he kept saying we have to look for it.
So that should not be an issue. There should never be. And I think this council is different. I think one of the things you'll see is that if we need to create a line item, we can do that without an actual council meeting. And there should be so much transparency in what you see that when you ask the question, where is that money? We go, it's right there, and it was put in there for this, and it came from here, and we should be able to point to it directly. And if we can't, you should question us that day. Because if I can't answer the question, then you should ask 4 other council members that same exact question. Because there's absolutely no reason why we can't. I don't know everything there is to know on council, but what I do know is that if I don't know the answer, I can go and ask someone, and I owe you a response, not I don't know. I owe you a response. And until, and this is true, I believe, of everybody else on council, from what I can tell, if you ask a question, you should expect a response. It may not be the one you like, but you should expect a response if you ask the question directly to us.
I thought you couldn't do that.
Now, in private.
If you send me a message and say, hey, Greg, what is this? I feel like I have to respond to you. but I have, you know,
In terms of the speed of how something like this works for this, when you produce such a beautiful request and you follow the grant application process, this is what the performance agreement looks like. It's very simple. So if we approve it tonight, that check can be cut for this amount, signed and done. You just sign that you're going to use it for what it is that you said you're going to use it for, and you're funded.
I assure you that I am. I got a roofer waiting on me to call him and say, when he asked, when we got the bid, he said, can I start Monday?
Which I do have a couple questions
Sure.
about. Okay, so now when you're looking at the pavilion by the VFW park,
Yes.
that one's going to take the most amount of work from what I saw and the guy I talked to.
Mhm.
The other three, I actually pressure washed a couple of them. They look okay. They just need paint.
They're not terrible.
I mean, I just grind off some stuff. And
They're not
so I'm just
terrible.
wondering what's being done.
Yeah, so all new R panel roofing in the same blue, so they all match on all four of the pavilions. I don't disagree with you. However, pulling all of that off and putting the new stuff up will do a lot better job of cleaning it and everything else. That kind of, you know, the stuff that's up there now is probably 25 years old.
But they are going to, so after they do that, we'll have a new color, and then we can mix and match paints to color.
You can. It's a standard blue that that is the same blue that's on there now, but not faded.
And here's the nice thing about how we're doing this, the way we have changed this. It's now city council's responsibility to make it all happen. So the EDC itself doesn't need to be down there picking paint colors or having our part of that. And because
we do have something in our contract that says that we're going to be giving this amount of money, like we expect it to be used for what you're saying.
That's right. But it doesn't say that we're calling the painters. That we're getting
got to pick green or anything
or,
like that.
or that we're getting bids for them anymore.
Yeah.
You got to get a
Yeah.
roof.
It's $8,700 and y'all are paying $6,350.
Okay. That's what. So if you're in the park committee, I don't know who actually owns it, but who owns the VFW Memorial?
I have no clue. And I'm not on, there's not actually a park committee that's official. I have no idea. I would love to think that the VFW, the AMVETS, and the American Legion would give us new flags. Because the flags are terrible. They're on my list too. I believe I'm going to have enough money left. There's actually money in the budget for flags.
Well, don't get a US one. We got that far.
Okay, we've got. Well, I don't think is there a U.S. flag there? I think they're all POW, MIA, and
Texas.
I don't think that there's a U.S. flag on that memorial.
But I would also ask and maybe get together with them because I understand POW flags in certain days, but not 24/7.
Yeah, but then you got to have
other people may feel different, but it's like I don't know. That's
so I believe that we need new flags. I'd be happy with the flags that are up there being replaced with exactly what is there. However, because somebody made that decision at some point, right? That was the 3 flags we needed. I don't want to. I think it would be best if we included the veterans who that memorial was built for in the decision of what flags should be put there. But at any rate, any flag that is put there should look better than the ones that are there today.
I'll give Dwayne a call.
Please, I don't have the contacts, and so
I know he'll at least know the other guys.
Yeah, somebody up there is going to stand up and say, "Oh man, we would love to do this, and we would love to put a plaque on it." I'm out asking right now for people to donate a picnic table.
And I suspect that it's owned by the city. When it's in the city park, the city actually owns it, regardless of who donated to put it together. And Lee would be a perfect person.
Yeah, but is it in the park or is it on the SRA park?
I think the city basically leases. They have a free lease on that SRA property. So it's not SRA who put in that memorial. I know it was put in and voted on by city council. So the best person to get that answer from is probably Lee.
Lee, we'll try to get a hold of her.
Chief West Walkney, beautiful work on that flag.
Yes,
But again,
they're the ones put all the flowers up.
But again, that's in the city. That's an official committee.
Yeah, that's an official, yeah. And I'll ask, I just don't know, I don't know whose it is. You don't think I need permission to go put a roof on it, do you?
No, you do not.
Okay, just making sure.
No, I do know that because I know that we own the pavilions. We own everything. The city owns everything.
All
in the park.
it should own
So
everything in
you
the
can
park.
do any kind of repairs, anything you need to do inside that park. You don't have to ask permission or have any approval from anybody else for what you do.
Because we have council's approval. I want to make that really clear.
Correct.
Okay,
Council
because
has already
if somebody
looked at
decides they want to go up there and
it.
fix something, I don't need a hammer and a chisel and a baseball bat and an axe.
They came and checked up on me when I was power washing.
Sure, they should.
Yeah, but it's because we're EDC, we're not city council. And it hadn't been approved, although everybody appreciates the help.
Yes, they do.
So I think this is,
I got real quickly.
okay, one more, Rhett. We're not spending the night up here.
And it's a double. Okay. We already talked about the dog park but also, I mean, so you got this list of two main agenda items you want to take care of in phase one.
Yes.
Where's phase two? Where's the stretch goals? Because again, I mean, I got
Stretch goals are, I get you. Stretch goals are 3 to 5 years.
Okay.
All right. This is not something that's going to happen overnight.
Mhm.
It's going to build momentum based on the things that we accomplish that we say we're going to do. Bottom line, yeah.
And in my role of running this board, I have to point out, we need to restrict our conversations to the grant applications that's in front of us. I've been very liberal. We've been allowed to ask and talk about all kinds of things because it's been okay, but we really do need to go back and just talk about this particular grant application and this amount of funding that you're requesting. Do y'all have any more questions about this grant application?
I don't have a question. I have two comments.
That's where you phrased it.
One is, this really set the standard for what these application packages are supposed to look like. It was well thought out, and this is, from now on, we can hand it and say, this is what it's supposed to look like. So great job on putting that together.
Thank you.
Very easy to
I don't
follow.
I charge by the hour if they need help.
And then the second piece is just, thank you guys for the quick movement on the park program. This is something that we had discussed. I haven't been on the EDC for long, but it was a hot topic for several meetings, and I'm just really glad to see this thing. It's in fast.
We're getting it done.
So
We're going to get it done.
thank you guys for the quick action.
Thank you.
I'll make a motion to approve it.
Okay.
I second the motion.
All in favor?
Aye.
And you can ask one more question. You can get one. Go ahead.
With the expectation by time any other money's finished, we do see an overall project layout. I don't care if it's 10 years down the road, but a plan to a plan to a plan. I don't see
That's a fair request.
I don't see this affecting anything, but I don't know what's planned for the future. So if we do know some of those things, we can better synergize on what's going to be done.
It's a fair request, and I can put something together. Part of the issue is the challenge that we faced on what can we accomplish that will build us momentum, right?
I get that.
And what can we do within the amount of money that we have? Because my goal is to go get a couple of park grants that are a couple $100,000, and then I'll put together a real plan, right? I can put together a plan today. I don't know how I can fund it. It's a whole lot easier if I have some funding and I can go in and say, we want to, these are the high expense, high reward items that we can do. And I don't intend to give this project up.
All right, so we've got a motion and a second. Ready for a vote? All right, all in favor? Aye. It is unanimous.
Now I have a question. For
Brett, the bathrooms are not on the agenda. They're not working on the bathroom. But here, because they're not being paid for. But here's the really cool thing. This group of people who are so invested in talking, and you love this park, and you are emotionally very much invested in this park too. Get with that group of people. I think Lana Marie's on it, which is fabulous. Get with that group of people. They've got the Facebook page. Talk with them.
But every time I see them, they're on 267 in their golf carts picking up garbage, and I don't got time for that.
I believe it's 276. I'm pretty sure 267 is a different highway, and I don't pick up trash on somebody else's
I'll
road.
get together.
Come. So I'll be happy to invite you to the next time we get together. It's a very informal group meeting where we sit in the shop.
Did you ever get a plan from Mike? Because he insisted to me he had a park plan.
He had a one-page document that said splash pad, new swing sets, new playground. It was a list of things he wanted.
No design for a frisbee golf course.
It was a one-page Word document, and I believe I still have a copy of it. I'll be happy to share it with you. It was not a plan. It was a one-page Word document of, I wish I had these.
This is great. I appreciate it.
So,
I really do.
Can you just put the money in the bank account for me?
Well, I can't do that because we make sure we sign the checks and we don't have a debit card anymore. So there
Can I
are
sign your
two.
little agreement?
You get to sign it when I give you the check. So it is passed, it is done, and they'll be able to print checks tomorrow, and Kathy and I can come sign them, and then I'll bring you the check.
Okay, that's fine. I just want to get it. Before I go tell the roofing guy to go, I want to have the money in the account to pay. You know, it's only fair that I don't have to pay that myself if I order it, and then, Okay, I'll wait until I hear from you, but that's great news. Thank you all.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
I am, do I need to stay for the rest of it?
No, you don't. You are free to go home and have dinner.
Am I?
Yes.
Oh, good.
Have a
Thank
good
you all. I
evening.
appreciate it. If y'all have any questions,
Bye.
anytime you want to talk about the park, somebody calls you and says, we want to do this, give them my number. I'll talk to them, have them text me or call me. I'm happy to talk about what we're going to do.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks, sir.
All right, now we'll move on to agenda item number 8, discuss and/or take action on selecting a restaurant to cater the EDC luncheon for the Chamber of Commerce that occurs on April 16th. We really still only have one restaurant that is able to do that catering that's open during that time, and that's Rancheros Mexican Grill. But out of respect for y'all, I thought I would bring it to you and let you go ahead and vote.
I love Rancheros.
All right, so could I have a motion to ask Rancheros to cater that?
A second.
I've got a first and a second. All in favor?
Aye.
It is unanimous. All right, so we'll move on to item number 9. Discuss and/or take action on hiring a real estate agent to rent the 1300 East State Highway 276 building, or making a decision to rent it out directly by us. I let y'all know this was going to come up at this particular meeting. I let you know last meeting. The work, Casey, that you did was fantastic. The person that you spoke to and the recommended rent rates, is that a person who we could have handle the rent of that building?
Yes, they offer the service and would be able to take this building on.
Okay. So do y'all have those numbers in front of you, Bill?
Extra copies.
Thank you.
I think it's only $50.
Nah, that's what we're waiting on.
That's that one down. All right. Okay. So we know that it is without a restroom, because we already have voted previously that we're not putting a bathroom in it. And if they rent it and they manage it completely, we're looking at which numbers here?
So if they rent it, it is the,
500?
obviously your lower, the rent rate's 500, that's the target rent rate. If we manage it ourselves, that left column is basically,
I see. The left column is with us doing it,
correct,
and
Yeah.
the right column is with their full
with their
manager.
fees.
So we would rent it out for 500, or if we could get better, we're not saying we're stuck at 500. Somebody may say, I'll do it for 600, I'll do it for 700. Their monthly fee would be 10% of the rent collected. So that would be 50 if it was 500. The leasing fee is $200, and there's no renewal fee. What is the $200 per new tenant? Oh, I guess
That's
$200
the
every time you get a
application
new
fee
one.
anytime you turn over tenants.
All right. So our estimated yearly income from that would be $6,000. and the estimated year expense is $800. And they would want us to have $500 funds in reserve, which we do. I mean, that wouldn't be an issue, put that in there. So this now is kind of open for discussion. I will tell you, because I'm always pretty opinionated, I would really rather hire this person to rent this property out than for us to try and manage and rent it out. I just think that the difference in the cost about, if we do it versus if they do it, we're looking at only making $300 more over the course of a year. We did it ourselves. And I just don't.
That isn't worth it.
That isn't worth it.
No.
$300, just $300 more profit out of a year.
But
The
what,
amount of work that you have to do, because you have to verify the tenants, you have to have legal contracts. We'd have to pay Lee to write up the legal.
and do we know what type of businesses they're gonna bring to it?
It's commercial property,
Well, it doesn't matter.
so it doesn't matter.
It's gonna be commercial rental storage is basically, I think, what it's going
Storage,
for.
yeah, with, because
Because
I was thinking, especially if we start making improvements to the park, and the attraction I've already seen at the park in the last 2 to 3 years. I remember telling you, kayaks, jet skis, everything you can imagine, you can just store right there. Somebody would pay.
I think you should rent it, Brett.
I didn't just buy a boat.
I think the advantage to having management is they're, number one, watching who you put in there, right? They're gonna run the backgrounds or whatever it takes to get that rented to a quality tenant. Number two, they're gonna help us with keeping up some kind of standard as somebody stays in it. If there's letters or notices that need to go out for property care. And then the biggest deal is if they default, we don't have to go through the whole process of eviction because they will handle the eviction process, which to me is the biggest win.
I had one of those guys for about 5 years when I moved states one time, and they were a little pricey, but since I even went through the sale and everything else, I was pretty happy that I didn't have to drive back and forth or anything. And they did a pretty good job. So yeah, I'm good with it.
So the only other question I would have is, we of course don't know who they would be renting it to. We'll have to have city council approval on this. And if the city would like to rent it from us, do we want to have a caveat in this where we make a motion and we approve to use this outside rental agency unless it's the city who decides to rent it? And if it's the city that decides to rent it, then we would do that in-house.
Yeah, a lot of your risk goes away at that point. So I think I'm fully on board with that.
All right, so the chair would entertain a motion that we hire this real estate agent to rent the 1300 East State Highway 276 building if it's to be used by anyone else other than the city of West Walker.
I'll make a motion to approve the rental. If the city rents it, not using Jessica with M Squared, if we put it out for the general public, it'd be using Jessica with M Squared.
I'll second.
The motion.
Okay, Larry will second.
I
All in favor?
Aye.
Unanimous. All right, on to item 10, discuss and or take action on selecting the next board member to take minutes for March's meeting, for this next meeting coming up. Who would like to volunteer to do that?
Oh, I paid my dues. I know they'll come around again, but I can't be this quick. You're gonna do it, huh? You're already secretary.
No.
But was secretary.
You got some free time. You want to do that next month?
Alright.
Okay, I'll do this.
All right, I'll make a motion for Kathy O'Neill to take minutes next month.
And this is always Senate player anyway, so you just copy paste it, change a little bit of the wording, this around it, throw up some of the fluff. You're good.
Okay. All right, I made the motion. Do I hear a second?
Oh, second the motion, I'm sorry. I'm sleeping here. Second the motion.
All in favor? All right, now we'll go on to future agenda items. Again, I will remind the board that anytime you want something on the agenda, all you have to do is send me an email, send me a text, call me, okay? There will be 2 agenda items that are going to be coming up next month. One is for us to do a budget amendment. We made an error when we approved our budget, and we only put $1,500 in the slot for job training, job education, job fairs, those kind of things. And we already are in a relationship with Texas Workforce Commission and the library for $2,500. That's what our yearly contribution is that we have been giving for that Texas Workforce Commission to work with the library for the job training. They're doing it's a great job down there. And I will have the folder of everything that happened last year so you can see all the people who have come through and the numbers and how successful it is. But because we missed that and the numbers in there stayed the same as they had been put from the previous board, we just have to make a budget amendment and then we'll vote on that. So that will be on our next agenda. And the other thing that I'm going to put on the agenda is for us to talk about whether or not we want to have t-shirts or something that we all wear that designates when we're out doing stuff, like we're going to have the booth at the Catfish Festival. We have certain things that we go out and we do. And when we go out and we're representing the EDC right now, we don't have anything like that. What I'm wearing today is a design that East Tawakoni EDC did. And I think they did a pretty nice design. Although this is a terrible color for me. So if we do this, I'm like not voting for this color. And the East Tawakoni EDC had these shirts made up and then they sold them and made a profit for their EDC. So that might be something that we also consider doing. If we do something like we have the Catfish Festival, if we all have t-shirts that are just promoting, the lake like this, we might be able to sell those as well and still use them as EDC board members.
East Tawakoni did this.
East Tawakoni did this.
I heard that.
And for me to get something on the agenda for the park, I have to send that to you or you just write it down?
Well, we're not paying anything or doing anything with the park. If you go to Greg.
No, he just came and requested money, right?
Right.
And he's gonna come and request money again. So I figured when I do talk to him, I kind of want to be prepared exactly how that's worked out.
You don't want time to shut up.
All I know, okay, what you can say about the park so far, last 3.5 years, that road around it was perfect. Okay, now it's a twist your ankle lawsuit.
So the best way to do
And the
it.
bathrooms have come. They weren't that nice,
But the best way to do that is, since we don't, as the EDC, we're not identifying and moving forward on working in the park. Instead, it's the city. Get with that group, talk with Greg, and you don't have to go to when they all get together to talk about it. Just talk with him independently. He'll let you come over and sit down and.
I already worked with him on the HOA. He hates me.
But sit down and talk with him and give your ideas. Contact Lana Marie. Contact those people who are this is a great group of volunteers who have come together. All the citizens here really do love our city. People have great ideas, and now you've got a group of people who have come together that are not city council committee, but together. They're just a group of concerned citizens who are working and then taking that to city council, and then city council comes to us with that. So all of those ideas, you can send even just an email to Greg and tell him that. Okay? Because I like to see the road done too, and I like walkways. And there's a lot of things I like to see done in the park, but we're going to let them come to us rather than us trying to manage
I like
that.
the system.
Thing is, I'm sure it wasn't engineered.
Yeah, I don't know.
It's just too much
So.
weight.
Well, it was done, and then we're supposed to go back and get those to do it, but nothing.
Okay,
And it didn't
reinforce it.
happen.
All right, so any other items on the agenda for us to address? Okay, and again, just send me an email if you do. So we are gonna call this meeting adjourned at, what is the time?
6:30
6:30.
on the money.
All right, good meeting, guys.
I
Thank
gotta
you.
vote.